and welcome to the Glacially Musical podcast. It is beer, metal, swearing with a side of high class. Of course, I am your host, Nick Cameron. I am joined by my good friend, a man who could put a dinette set in his chin, a man who looks disturbingly like Bruce Kulick, Keefy, Cleft Chin. How we doing today, buddy?
I do not have a butt chin. That is mean.
Would I know? You've got hair all over it.
I have pictures of me with. I'm gonna share a picture right now on the podcast of me with no beard. Hold on a second. I just found an old picture of me that a female requested.
Can you share my steak dinner?
I could. Let's see if I can.
Please do.
I'm not sure it will let me, but we're going to find out. Hold on.
While Keefy is doing this, I will give you, everybody, thank you for joining us this week. If you are here for the meat of the episode, which is Dirty Rotten Imbeciles, a.k.a. D.R.I, dealing with it, which is what we do every day in late-stage capitalism. Hooray, the grind is real. So anyway, here's how we do this each week. We do a greeting, we do a beer check, we do a vinyl check, news check, shirt check, meat. Meat of the day is a delicious cast iron steak ribeye. Wait, that was dinner. Meat of the day, of course, is D.R.I. dealing with it.
Nice work. Here's a quick. This is going to benefit nobody listening to this on podcast services, but in terms of viewers, check this picture out. Hey, I don't know if they can appreciate how.
Get that away from me.
What do you look like with no beard? Weird. And then let's see if I can. I'll stop sharing, and let's see if I can find the other picture you just sent me, and if it let me. I don't think it let me, because Facebook doesn't trust me or you.
While Keefy is doing that, I am going to go ahead and do my beer check.
Well, hold on, I got it. Hold on, just hold on. You wanted to see it. You wanted everybody to see your handiwork. This is Nick's dinner, everybody. I think it's pretty swell.
It was delicious.
It looks delicious. A very nice cut of meat there.
That is an Aldi ribeye.
No shit. How much did that run you, if you don't mind me asking?
An Aldi ribeye in St. Louis, they usually go about 19 ounces, so about $18, and that is about 3/8, about 3/8 of it. I use the rest for the football championship party for cool people too. Go Larks! Montreal, we got bragging rights this year. If you don't mind, I'm now going to do my beer check. Beer check this week. I got a wonderful surprise in the store yesterday. By yesterday, I mean Monday. It apparently is Hopslam week. Hopslam, and I know I mentioned him frequently, but I loved my father-in-law deeply. And this was the beer that we bonded over. And my wife was able, it was the first IPA that I loved that made me appreciate the style. And I jokingly laughed about how Bob would go in half and half on a 6-pack, and then he wouldn't drink it. And then I would end up drinking all of it. And my wife said, that's my dad. He did that so you would have a whole 6-pack of it for only half price. And then she pointed out, did you think he needed the $5 a week you paid him for the Gibson Les Paul? He fronted the money of my Gibson Les Paul, and all I had to do was pay him $5 a week until it was paid off. I did not pay him off. But anyway, so Hopslam, it is a 10% hop monster. It only comes out once a year for a week because they cannot get enough hops to do it. Finger fudge pour. Down the middle, Paul. Down the middle. We'll get to you in a minute, Paul. Oh, no spillage.
I'm just gonna point out that in our the comment section of our Kiss video that people can now watch on Ghost Cult Mag and Ghost Cult Mag socials, somebody criticized the pour. They didn't know what they were looking at.
No.
I mean, once you do the finger fudge pour, why would you ever go back?
Actually, I had a conversation about the finger fudge pour with a coworker today because he talked about how Budweiser is too heavy for him, and I'm like, bro, it's 4.5%. Budweiser is basically water. It's it's like what's the difference between sex in a canoe and what's the difference between sex or why is American beer like sex in a canoe? It's
Why?
fucking close to water.
Hmm.
Heyo.
All right, I guess it's time for my beer check. I've got one of my favorite beers this week in a ginormous can, Montucky Cold Snack, the official drink of Montana. Pop, finger fudge, pour. I remember when my camera's up, spilled it all over the desk. There goes the computer. It's like a whole glass of coffee. me sipping the beer off the desk here. Cheers, sir.
Cheers, my friend. Oh wait, hang on. We gotta get the can.
I'm sure it looks weird to people. We pour the beer into a glass and then drink from the can, but that's just, we poured the beer in the glass to try to not get the gas in our body, but then we immediately sip a beer from the can.
I'm gonna quote Azrael. I'm gonna paraphrase Azrael from the classic movie Dogma, which I hope to God you've got a DVD of it, because if not, you ain't watching it. No pleasure, no rapture, no exquisite sin greater than Founders Brewing Hopslam.
Then Central Air.
If you don't mind, I'm going to now move on into the vanilla check. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I came across a fact that really bothered me because I was unaware of it. One of my favorite doom metal bands, a duo out of Iowa. Thank God for Iowa. Finally, a good band comes out of Iowa.
Ouch.
Excuse me, a little coughing. I got a new mute button. Hope you're enjoying that. That band, that doom band from Iowa, is of course the one, the only Telekinetic Yeti, which is about one of the coolest band names you're ever going to come across.
Pretty sure it's from a lyric from Clutch.
That's fine. I don't care where it came from. It's awesome. It is a really cool record. It is a black and white merge. So let me show you the front and the back. Front and the back are different. Got it in, of course, the vinyl style inner sleeve. And it came with an outer sleeve. I got this on Amazon. I think I only paid like $25 for it. It wasn't significant. Not a significant outlay for the amazing quality of doom metal that resides within. And as everyone knows, I love doom metal.
That is a good band, Telekinetic Yeti, and I also I'm a lover of doom metal. Maybe we should do a classic doom band eventually or soon.
We did do Black Sabbath.
We did do Black Sabbath, but another one. I have thoughts. So my vinyl check this week's a funny story. Unless did you have two? I don't remember.
No, sir, just the one this week because we have. I guess we can drop the news. Not that it's news, but we one of us has been going through an orgy of buying records now that he's not dealing with remodeling a house. So my vinyl, I'm blowing up. I bought 5 this weekend. So by the time we get to, we're gonna do on the after the third episode of this, which is crossover. So we're gonna do a vinyl, a Nik vinyl chaser after that, after the third episode.
Fair enough. I do think it helps break up the series, and I'm not against it. Are you? Is your vinyl score just vinyls? The vinyls that you were sitting on that you've been mentioning on our pods that were in your Amazon cart, or were these record store day buys? What were they?
I haven't gotten to the record store day buys yet.
Wow. Because when we do the big vinyl episode next week, mine are gonna be just the record store day. But maybe I'll do more. I don't know if you're talking about checking like 10. Maybe I'll do 10. I definitely am sitting on like 10 to 20 unchecked vinyls.
Honestly, it's going to depend upon what arrives. Right now, I have about 8 sitting on the shelf, and then let me see. I ordered 3 this weekend for myself. I ordered another one for my wife on Monday. I mean, there's, and I'm gonna check that one because it's cool. But yeah, I got a pile.
All right. This is my funny story. So I was in St. Louis. I don't know if you know that, about a month ago, and
I heard some
we
things. I heard
you might
things.
have heard a rumor, pray tell, tales that I was in St. Louis, Missouri, and we went to all the record store things. And one of the record stores we went to was Planet Score Records, which I scored some records at Planet Score, because no one has ever made that joke before. And I found something in the stacks, and I was really excited because I didn't know what it was. I knew the band, and I was like, "What is this?" This place had already shown me that they had some variants and some lives and some bootlegs and some European and other country versions of things. So I didn't question it. In my lizard brain, I saw this thing and I was like, "Oh, I need that." And I think I put back something else I had picked out to get this thing. And then it turns out this thing is not what I thought it was. So this record is Planks by the band Tombs. But it is not Tombs from America. It is a German band called Tombs that is also kind of a sludgy death
May
death
I
metal
jump
band.
in?
Yeah, go ahead.
You did not get that record at Planet Score.
Where did I get it? Did I get it
You
at the
got
other one?
you got that at Vintage Vinyl. That is a
Okay.
Vintage Vinyl price tag.
Yeah, I don't. Why is it right on this thing? I hate it. Because
Because
this isn't.
that's what
This
they
is.
do.
This might have been a handmade package because this is paper. This is like number 28 oak tag. This is not paper. This is paper stock. This is not a vinyl sleeve. This came in a mylar. I mean, this is beautifully printed. Look at this thing. Look at the artwork on this thing. Wouldn't you love that on a shirt? What in
I
the shit
would
is
love
this?
that on our shirt.
Right? It's like a pirate squid Cthulhu something. Anyway, this
Chili
is not
relleno.
this is Chili Relleno Cthulhu. This is not Tombs from Philadelphia, Brooklyn and Philadelphia, New Jersey that I love. This is the inner sleeve again. Looks like a custom print. Like this is paper, beautifully printed with like maybe almost a foily thing. And then it came in the outer mylar paper in their plastic. And then I'm not sure if this is on purpose or not, but this definitely looks like written on with a Sharpie.
I'm just gonna point out they do have the internet now, so you can verify what you're buying.
I know, but I always feel like a jerk looking at my phone in a record store, like one of those flippers.
You know what's nice about not having shame? You don't feel bad.
I guess I usually don't have any shame.
I
Anyway,
have,
so chances are I'm going to give this vinyl away to a fan of Ghost Cult at some point, and even if I like it, I don't think I'm going to keep it because it was a mistake buy.
I do apologize for jumping in, but that price tag, I have been literally staring at that price tag since 1994. Ever since because like I told Keefy when he was here, vintage vinyl used to be a weekly pilgrimage for me when I because I went to school on the train, and the train goes to. We have a very minimal train system, and it does go to the U City Loop where Vintage Vinyl is. So I would get off, walk up to Vintage Vinyl, buy a couple CDs, walk to a collector's bookshop, buy a couple, typically Star Trek novels, and then I get back on the train and go to work for the night. But let me go ahead and drop my shirt check. I have my Metallica and Justice for All.
Puss head, right?
Yeah, I couldn't remember what song it was for.
And I am just wearing Thor Odin's Son Marvel. You've seen this before. And my cool, rarely worn camo Sacred Reich trucker hat. Sacred Reich is a band I wouldn't mind doing a series on, by the way.
I actually read about them today. That's
I
kind of
love
weird.
them so much. Yeah. They're coming out with a new album next year.
Check for me, and then we're gonna get into a bit more news that we're gonna discuss together. I know I talked to you guys way too much about Vinnie Vincent, and I know the story is a non-story, so I'm gonna give you the one thing he did say this week that's significant, apart from how he and his band have been in the studio 24/7 to blah 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 whatever. He has announced that there will be a performance, an intimate performance in Nashville, I believe on February 24th, to introduce the new version of the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. And if anybody would like to bet me $5 that it will happen, that this concert actually happens, I will give you 20 to 1 odds.
My prediction is it's not going to be an intimate performance. It's going to be an intermittent performance. Heyo!
Whoa!
Zing. Zing, zing, zing. Kiss, a lot of Kiss stuff going on. Vinny was oddly quiet this week, except for that news you have. I was really thought this would be the week he would lay it on thick. This would have been a good week for him to drop a song. This would have been a good week for him to announce a tour. This would have been a good week for him to show some artwork.
He has announced a tour is coming, and he has announced that once he gets management approval, he will release a song. The fact that Vinnie Vincent is Vinnie Vincent's manager makes me question that question all of this, but Vinnie Vincent is and honestly, I need to get off this train because I am just watching the self-destruction of a human being, and it's a lot. And for all of the giggles and chiggles I have over this, I do hope to God he releases a record. I do hope to God he puts out a song, because there's a significant number of people that really want it. And each week he delays, that number dwindles a little bit more, because this album was supposed to have come out over 30 years ago.
And he is a talented person. He's actually talented. He ghost wrote a lot of Kiss stuff nobody really realizes is his work. He's not untalented. He is talented. He might have been a better songwriter than Gene and Paul in the 80s. Not saying a lot, but still.
I disagree. He is a much better co-writer, because you bring him an idea and you give him parameters. One of the greatest things I ever heard about creativity was you need to set parameters on what you're planning to do. If you say to yourself, I'm going to write a poem in an A-B rhyme scheme, it's much easier than to sit down and go, I'm going to write free verse. Because when Vinnie Vincent is given a lane and given parameters, we get Creatures of the Night. We get Lick It Up, although Lick It Up's got some squiffy weirdness to it, but it's still a much better album than anything that came after it for basically the rest of their career.
Oh, yeah. I just feel like, my jokes aside, I just feel like if he's not going to put out something, shit or get off the pot, bro. You know?
Bingo.
At least we know Ace's record is coming, for better or worse.
Did we talk about that last week?
We did. The song is good, better than we thought it was.
The song is a good 6.5 out of 10, which I was expecting a 2.5 out of 10. So yeah.
Let's talk briefly. I know we've been talking nonstop about Kiss. Let's talk briefly about the farewell show.
We have been talking nonstop, but it's
the time. Now is the time. Now is the time when everyone else is also talking about Kiss.
Right. It's like right now we talk about Santa Claus because it's December.
Yeah. Let's everything about Christmas is pagan except Jesus. Anyway, just putting it out there. Nothing personal. I love Christmas, by the way, and I am not Christian or Catholic.
Yeah, me, absolutely me. I cannot wait. I've already been buying the dinner. I have the dinner in the freezer. I am so excited.
What is the menu for Christmas dinner before we talk about the farewell tour dates of Kiss?
I'm going to do a double Dutch oven dinner, because I am now Nik 2 Dutch Cameron, because I got 2 Dutch ovens. I am going to do a duck and a chicken, mashed potatoes, risotto, steamed broccoli, stuffing, salads, probably some mixed veggies. It's just going to be, but it's going to be a double main course meal, and I've never cooked duck. I am really excited.
Slow and low is the tempo. That is the way to go with duck, and it's very greasy. I'm sure you've eaten duck.
I've eaten it many times.
It's extraordinarily greasy on its best day, but it is quite delicious, and it's a nice treat and a change of pace from chicken and turkey and ham.
What I might do though is I might boil down the bones in order to make some duck broth risotto for myself.
Duck confit. That's what you're gonna make. He's gonna make actual duck confit. This guy's incredible. We have the same Dutch oven, by the way, the red Dutch oven. I have the same exact one. So anyway, Kiss played their final 2 shows. You know that, again, we did this big Kiss video over on Ghost Cult. Nik was a participant and a great contributor. And Kiss did a bunch of Kiss events in New York City. They lit up the Empire State Building. They had an integration with the New York Rangers hockey team, with merch, all kinds of stuff. I did not get to go to the Kiss pop-up shop, although Ken Pierce did from our Kiss video, and maybe I'll link his pop-up shop video. Has like 10,000 views on YouTube. We just didn't get to go do it, but and I'm hoping somebody could get me a Kiss Metro card because I would really love one. Maybe they should have brought back the Subway token just for Kiss this week. But anyhow, Kiss played their last 2 shows. No surprises. Really no deep cuts except the ones they've already been playing on the tour. No Ace, no Peter, of course. No big surprises. We'll talk, if you like. I wouldn't mind running through the set list very quickly just to discuss it for a second.
Do you have it up?
I have it up. I'll read it off. I'll read it off. You make a comment, or you comment at the end, whatever you want to do. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but just quickly.
I will give you a 3-word maximum response to each song.
Now I'm going to hold you to it. Jesus. Kiss's intro music is Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin. You know they're big fans. Opening, and this is basically the same set list every show on the tour with a few exceptions. The final 2 shows had the identical set list except for one change, which I'll talk about at the end. So both days, Detroit Rock City. Shout It Out Loud.
Tired of it.
Deuce.
Oh, yeah.
War Machine.
Okay.
Has not been out of the set list the whole time.
In like 20 years.
Which is great. Because they didn't do it a lot back in the day. Heaven's on Fire. I Love It Loud, where Gene breathes the fire, replacing Firehouse.
Okay.
I gotta be honest, Love It Loud is a much better song than Firehouse.
Yeah, Firehouse has always been a bit squiffy to me.
It's just weak. It's just a weak song.
It's better than songs like Take Me, but it's not as good as songs like Deuce or most of Gene's work on Hotter Than Hell. Even Gene came in great on Hotter Than Hell, except for All the Way and Mainline, which Peter sang.
Also true. Say Yeah. Don't need it.
Nope.
Cold Gin.
Yay! Where's Ace?
Tommy Thayer guitar solo after Cold Gin, as if an insult.
Okay, I don't need anybody's long form guitar solo at this point. Tommy Thayer is probably #1 on probably the last one I'd want to listen to, because I don't want to hear somebody doing a pastiche of an Ace Frehley solo, and Ace Frehley is right in front of Tommy Thayer in terms of guitar players long form solos I don't want to hear. So Tommy Thayer is going to impersonate Ace. None of that is good.
None of that is necessary. Maybe those guys need a break, like to suck some oxygen in, spray themselves down with some mist or something. Then Lick It Up.
Okay.
Which has the little breakdown with Won't Get Fooled Again.
Thank God.
That little part, because we need that.
Hopefully Paul did a windmill.
I imagine. He has like rotator cuff replacements, both of them, or surgeries. Calling Dr. Love.
Thank you.
Making Love.
Hard pass. If you listen, okay, real quick, I'm gonna break my three word rule because I said the review. If you look at those lyrics, nope.
Not only that, Making Love is their opportunity for Tommy and Paul to trade guitar solos. And it's not really solos, like guitar noises.
There's absolutely nothing less in this world musically I need than that. That is the last thing. I have got to... before I need that, I need to have seen Jim Morrison rise from the grave to do a tour for L.A. Woman.
We are more than at the halfway point. I'm going to breeze through these. Partial Psycho Circus into the drum solo by Eric Singer. Eye roll. For those listening at home, eye roll. Severe eye roll. Bass solo by Gene where he spits the blood.
Okay.
Been in every show since Alive. It's fine.
Tired.
God of Thunder. Naturally, next.
Naturally.
Love Gun, in which Paul ziplines to the B stage over the crowd.
Hooray.
The bane of my personal existence on the planet Earth, I was made for loving you.
Oh, I love that record too, and you got to hear the album because Paul
Black
didn't sing it.
Black Diamond, last song on the set as Paul ziplines back to the big stage.
God, I love that song.
It is a great song. Encore. Beth with Eric Singer pretending to play piano.
So
Literally pantomiming this.
yeah, that is the dumbest crap.
That would have been a chance to bring out Peter. Just bring him out, sit him on a stool. Maybe all of Kiss plays in darkness, and he just sings the song.
They don't play.
Right, it's all piped in, right?
Yeah, it's all piped in. They play it.
So at that point,
So
you could
all
have
this
had
time
Peter.
All this time, Gene Simmons is complaining about tapes. They've been using a tape
Yeah, probably the whole way.
all the way. They never brought in an orchestra and a piano player to play Beth. It's always been to tape.
Perennial Kiss favorite of Gene and Paul, Do You Love Me? And not sure why this is an encore song, but okay.
Because it was on Unplugged.
You really?
And it's an easy chorus to sing.
I've never looked at Kiss's streaming numbers, but I think I'm about to. Hold on. If this isn't in the top 5 in their streams, I don't want it.
There's no way it is.
It could be. You never know. You don't Spotify, so. Kiss. Do You Love Me? Sorry for the clackety clacks. I should mute myself with my mute button.
That gives me the opportunity to speak my mind.
So Kiss's top 5 songs that are streamed were all represented. I Was Made for Loving You, far and away number 1, by more than double.
Naturally.
Horrible. Rock and Roll Night at a solid number 2 with with 437 million streams. It's impressive. Detroit Rock City from double platinum, 3rd.
That one has an extra line not in any other version.
Shockingly, Heaven's on Fire is 4. With Lick It Up trailing.
That is not shocking at all.
It's
Heaven's
shocking
on
to
Fire was a ginormous hit in the 80s.
I guess. MTV maybe. And then Lick It Up. Closing out the 5. So honestly, I the only reason Do You Love Me is on here is because Gene and Paul love Do You Love Me. And like they love that song. And it's on Destroyer, so they love it. I don't love it.
It's one of my favorite songs on Destroyer at this point because it's not been beaten into my face. And it's also not Flaming Youth or God, honestly, Destroyer.
Plaster Caster.
That's Love Gun.
Oh, sorry. I do love that song.
I mean, I everybody knows, I hope, that I really, really unnaturally and creepily love Kiss. But I'm not gonna, get spooged in the face and call it ice cream. I'm gonna tell you what it is. And they put out so much abject garbage. They always knew the money was on the road, always. So they were always on the road, and they always knew that the less money they spent on making a record, the more money they would make off the record. So the music was always pushed back to second or third tier status with that band. And it sucks because there's a lot of great musical talent, a lot of great songwriting talent that kind of got wasted over the forever.
Hashtag, I'm not going to get spooged in the face and call it ice cream. Holy crap, Nik. Anyway, you need a book of these things at some point. I have like a little book of David Bowie quotes, and I need a little book of Nik aphorisms. Anyway, the set closes both nights with with Rock and Roll All Night. Of course.
Don't need it.
Well, I mean, it's their...
I get it. Everyone else needs it, but Nik does not.
It's their Stairway to Heaven. They have to play it.
It's like Enter Sandman. I don't need that.
You never need it again. And then, so interesting thing, on Friday night, Kiss walks off the stage, says their goodbyes, takes their bows, and the tape as they exit Friday night on tape is God Gave Rock and Roll to You, which they have played live before. That's the is that the Argent song from?
Have they legitimately played it?
I think they used to play it in the '90s.
It's
I
on
feel
Alive 3, which
I've
would have been
seen
the
them.
only
Yeah,
tour, and I don't. And Alive 3 is so. It's the fakest of the four alive. It's the fakest of the five alives because half of those tracks were recorded at soundcheck, and then like you would hear Paul, like he would hear his. It was obvious that his intro and the song were recorded on completely different days or a completely different everything. So I don't know that they ever actually played it.
calling anything the fakest thing is impressive with Kiss. And then something interesting happened at the end of night two, and we're just going to touch on this. So they go off the stage and they're going to start playing God Gave Rock and Roll to You. And Kiss makes an announcement with a video that Kiss is now being replaced permanently by Avatars, the same company that did the ABBA experience that has sold out arenas in Europe because there is no ABBA anymore. Um, and the Avatars performed God Gave Rock and Roll to You, and there was a press release that said this is how Kiss stays on forever into eternity. How do you feel about the Kiss Avatar thing?
It is the dumbest crap. And I'll say the same thing about the Dio hologram, the ABBA whatnots, and the robot Elvis, and perhaps the amphibian, the amphibian attack flank of Trans Siberian Orchestra when they retire. Look, there are a lot of people that, quite frankly, Keefy, my good friend, that are our age that are so absolutely terrified of new music that nothing can possibly be as good as the crap they listened to in 1984. Well, I'm sorry. There are plenty of songs in 2023 that you could listen to that are as good as Heaven's on Fire or Dance All Over Your Face or Burn, Bitch, Burn. There is plenty of quality. There is plenty of amazing stuff. It's harder to find it, and you're scared and lonely. I get that. There are websites like I don't know. I think Keefy's mentioned a website a couple of times where you can learn about new music. I think it's called Ghost Cult Mag. I've heard a couple of things about it. I used to write about brand new music, and these people are the ones doing this abject crap and keeping these old septuagenarians living large and full of money. And I'm sorry, and I love Dio. And I'm on record in the Black Sabbath series. Dio Sabbath is Sabbath to me. Ozzy Sabbath is Ozzy Sabbath. I'm that guy. I'm like one of 18 dudes. That's where I started. That's where I live. I will never see a Dio hologram. I saw Dio play in 2007 with Heaven and Hell, and I was so happy I got to see it. I finally got to see my not just my favorite version of Sabbath, but my favorite version of Dio. And you know what? You know what sucks? I wasn't in Philadelphia in 1970 when the Doors were touring Morrison Hotel. I wasn't in London when Jimi Hendrix jumped on stage with Cream and made Eric Clapton cry like a little bitch with a skinned knee and shit. I wasn't there for Woodstock. I wasn't there for the US Festival. I missed out on the one in the 80s in Philly and London, whatever. I wasn't there for Live Aid. I wasn't there. It sucks. You know what I am there? You know what I have been there for? Lollapalooza, for Metallica, M72, which was amazing. I King Diamond at the pageant and King Diamond on the Puppet Master tour. I might not have seen Aerosmith at the height of their powers in 1975, but I did get to see them in 1999. You know, I and Motley Crue always sucked, but I've seen them 3 times. And enjoy the moment you have. Don't try to live in the past. There will always be new music. There will always be new bands. And every night in St. Louis, there are at least 50 concerts I can attend. I will never give any money to anything keeping some old jackass's music alive. I have my Kiss records. I have my Dio records. I have my Rainbow records. I have my Doors records. I have my Led Zeppelin records. I have those. I love those. Pink Floyd. Never saw anybody from Pink Floyd. Probably never will at this point. But you know what? I still got those records and I still got that music. The music is the most important thing. Love it, honor it. But remember, there's always somebody coming next. You will find what you're looking for.
Nice. I'm hopeful that Nick Mason announces another leg of that tour and we get to go somehow.
Oh, God, I know. I would fly. Okay, look, if he comes to San Francisco, this guy's getting on a plane. This one, the one that's got a receding hairline, who's still got enough to recede.
I don't know. I saw some very handsome pictures of you online this week. I'm not going to say what site I saw them on.
That's ridiculous.
Could be the Grinder app. I'm not sure. But yeah, the Kiss
Whoa,
avatar.
I'm on Hinge.
Nice. The Kiss. No, Grinder is the one for dudes.
Hinge is not for dudes?
I mean, it isn't it? It's not for dudes.
Look,
dudes.
I don't know. I'm fucking married.
Glory hole app. Anyway,
What the fudge?
Find the glory hole, and it's just a picture of Nick's dong. Anyway,
I would need like 3 photos. Can I set this damn thing up now?
hold on. So the Kiss avatar is a bad idea. I did see and cover the Dio hologram, and I didn't hate it. Like, the idea of it was great. It wasn't executed beautifully, but like it was cool. It was very cool.
Put
and you know,
that
Queen
on YouTube, and I'm in.
Well, here's the thing: the Kiss avatars are gonna like. How much would you pay? You wouldn't pay to go, but if you were gonna,
No.
what do you think they're gonna charge?
What do I think they're gonna charge? Like, I mean, is this like an actual tour thing they're doing?
They in the press release they were like, Kiss can be on tour every day of the year on every continent. What do you think?
Holy crap! Oh my God! Saints preserve us. Vishnu, Muhammad, Zeus, Ra, somebody from Australia, a giant. You know what? No, I take it back. Sweet meteor of death, release us. That's what I think. I
Have you
give
ever
my time.
Have you ever seen The Exorcist? Where
I'm not unmuting.
the mom goes, Judas Priest, Reagan. Anyway,
Hey,
Judas,
breaking the law.
Let's bring
Reagan.
back
Oh, foreshadowing.
bring back Judas Priest as an epithet. So I'm gonna skip the last news piece because we've gone rather long on this, unintentionally. But I will say, head over to Ghost Cult this week and check out all of our album of the year content for 2023. And next week, if we do a news check on the Chaser, I will talk about the album of the year of Ghost Cult. And I yield my time. Go back to you. D.R.I. dealing with it. Take it away, Nicholas.
Pause. When I said pause, just so you know, it's because my cat stepped on my junk. That's not true. Anyway, so Keefy's paused and I can't hear what he's saying. His cat's, I'm assuming a cat stepping on his junk. So here we are. We are in 1985. 1985, March of 1985. We are weeks away. The greatest National League team of all time is presently in spring training. Budding superstar Willie McGee is about to begin his campaign of 353 as a switch hitter, which it seems like if you don't bat 350 as a switch hitter, why are you bothering? Vince Coleman, the greatest base stealer of all time, had he not smoked crack, is about to start a rookie campaign where he steals 110 bases in the first and on his en route to become the first player ever to steal 100 bases in his first 3 years, in 3 years in a row, all while batting less than 300. Think about that for a second, kids, if you love the baseballs. Pretty sure that is the only sport that matters in 1985 is the St. Louis Cardinals. Those Kansas City Royals can fuck right off because I'm pretty sure they cheated. Don Dankinger, if I ever find you, we're going to have a discussion and I will forgive you. I'm going to give you a Ted Lasso. I'm going to forgive you. But what happened in January of 1985? Last week we discussed a lot about the political climate of America. In 1984, in November of 1984, America including the right and left wings. The right, the left, and the center resoundingly came together, and they did not, unfortunately, they did not repudiate Reaganomics. They all lauded Reaganomics. And Ronald Reagan was reelected in the greatest landslide of all time. He won 49 states to 1 over Walter Mondale and trailblazer Geraldine Ferraro. Minnesota. Love you, Minnesota. Minnesota was the only state to have voted for Walter Mondale. Walter Mondale came out and said what needed to be said. And we learned in November that year that America prefers beautiful lies to ugly truths, as we have continually learned year after year. Whereas the majority, the vast majority of the country even, loved Reaganomics, loved the Cold War, loved the war hawk talk of Ronald Reagan. People like me, people like Keefy most likely, grew up in a world where we heard about the possibility of nuclear holocaust daily. That was part of our life. That was part and parcel of American life, that Mikhail Gorbachev, any day now, was going to finally push the button. And Ronald Reagan said, "I will not crawl in a hole. I will retaliate." And at that point in time, between the United States and the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republics, the USSR, we had combined enough nuclear weaponry to destroy the entire solar system, much less just this Earth. So the vast majority of Americans were lauding and, oh God, what's the word? The antonym of repudiate? Oh balls, Keefy's law. It's like not like Keefy's a wordsmith or anything.
You slept about 7 hours this whole week, by the way, since Sunday.
Anyway, so the even though the majority of the country approved of Reagan's antics, Reagan's bullshit, there were some of us that did not. And that some of us included bands like D.R.I, the Beastie Boys, Reagan Youth, later Iron Reagan, later the International Playboys. And yes, many of us who were alive at that time have come out scarred and deformed. And we will stop the Jedi.
And the attack on my life has left me scarred
and deformed. And with that,
how great is Ian McDiarmid, by the way? Oh my God! Why isn't he in more movies? I know he's like 80.
He is the greatest actor in the Star Trek saga, not named Sir Alec Guinness.
You said Star Trek.
Oh balls! Star Trek's better. I'm sorry.
It's fired.
It's better. It's better. It's better.
I prefer Space 1999 and Battlestar Galactica, the OG series. But what are you?
The actual?
Listen, you seen Barbara Bain in a spacesuit? You got nothing to say, sir.
Okay, I don't need to see naked chicks in spacesuits.
It's not naked.
Okay, I don't need to see super hot chicks in super skin tight spacesuits. I have the internet. I need a plot if I'm gonna watch a movie. Sicko. Where was I? Oh yeah, Keefy's a sicko. Shame. I'm now Hannah Waddingham, not in Ted Lasso. Where was I? Anyway, so D.R.I comes out with their second record, dealing with it, and like all of us, they were dealing with the Reaganomics, Reagan policies, and growing up Gen X. And growing up Gen X was difficult and hard. I'm just gonna point out, everybody that was against Reagan in 1984 proved to be right.
Are you yielding your time? Is it my turn? I guess he's staying on mute, so I guess he did yield his time. I just immediately lost my place where I had the record opened. Damn it. Damn it, Bob. Well, damn. I don't know what's going on. So D.R.I, man, dealing with it is their third record. Kurt's brother quits on drums, and they get in Felix Griffin. They're still in Houston at this time, and this is a year and a half after the EP we did last week, and they have gotten a little more money to make a record. Still sounds very rough and punk, but now you're starting to really get the metal influence on these tracks. The thrash metal is coming through a little bit more, and I got to give credit to Spike, the guitar player, Spike Cassidy. He is. If I could interview one person from the band, I would want it to be Spike, still to this day. I'm trying to find my place on my internet, so if you want to talk for a second, you can.
I will push my mute button and turn it back to green because I got things to say. I'm going to say one of the things about this record, which is so amazing, is it is equally vastly different and equally eerily similar to my favorite D.R.I. record, which is Four of a Kind, which we will get to in a few weeks. And much like the great grindcore of the late 80s and early 90s, we don't, even though the track list shows, I don't know, more songs than I got beer, 25 tracks, we really don't have 25 tracks. We have several little suites, little Pink Floydian tracks, as it were, where it's, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. Like, the first 3 tracks are barely 3 minutes. And then the next 3 tracks are barely 5 minutes. So basically, we're getting several songs. They have just not really graduated to the point in their songwriting where they can do a song that has several movements. They get there. And interestingly enough to me, we're not at the point where D.R.I. can't play a song with several movements. They can't write one. Yes.
You think they can't or they don't want to?
I'm going with can't. I believe that is... Well, you know what? It could be a choice. Either way, we're not seeing a band that can't write more advanced music. We're seeing a band that's not writing more advanced music.
Not unfair, not unfair. Also, this is their first record for Metal Blade, where their next 5 records would be released, including this one.
It's also the first LP.
Well, we argued about that last time. Technically, they consider the first album an album, the second release, obviously, an EP, and this their second full length.
Okay, I can consider myself sexy as hell, but I'm not. It doesn't matter what I consider myself. It's how others judge it. There are parameters to this. You have to reach a level. I said it.
We're picking at nits. I think they consider this their second full-length album.
They can eat their own butt and make a new record.
All right, that's not unfair. So there are 25 songs on here. I don't think we're going to go through 25 songs. Doesn't make sense.
So help me God, we are not.
So let's just ring out our favorite ones. We might double up, we might not. I'm going to pull out like my 10 favorite songs on this record.
Okay, I'm going to leave myself off mute so I can jump.
Fine. The opener, the first 3 are perfect. Snap, I'd Rather Be Sleeping, one of my personal favorites, and Marriage.
That sounds like a song.
It does.
Those 3 are a song.
Could have been one whole song, yeah.
Yeah.
Mad Men has always been fun. That has the audio clip of an argument between Kirk Brecht and his dad. They used to rehearse in his house, and his dad is like, "It's late. You got to stop playing. It's too late. You do this all the time." It's great.
That's a thing that becomes a repeated theme of D.R.I. The cymbals seem real loud.
Right. Stupid War, which I think is about Afghanistan or Grenada.
I guess would have been Libya. No, we're not to Libya yet. Libya is 86.
85. Early 85. So I think Grenada, is likely. Because the Oliver North trial is at this time.
No. That was Iran-Contra was 87.
Oh, okay.
The trial was 87 at least. It's hard to going into the 80s, going into the middle 80s is such a weird time for America because we went from after Nixon and Nixon's horribleness, we had what 10 years almost 12 years of complete. We didn't hear about any scandals. I mean, there was a lot of dirty bullshit going on, like we talked about last week with the Iran, with the Iranian hostages. But all of a sudden, the middle '80s, the Reagan scandals just start blowing because you can't hold things down forever, and it just started going. Psh, 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 psh. And that's why when I said earlier, those who were against Reagan were right.
Indubitably. Just the last few ones for me that are really important. Couch Slouch, the classic, one of their classic songs. God is Broke.
Mm-hmm.
Give me my taxes back. All these things are relevant to tonight, to 2023, by the way. Reaganomics, which was also on the EP and the album. And then, Slit My Wrist, Busted Again, yada yada. Bailout, also another relevant one. Bailout. Any of these your favorite? Do you have a favorite on here or several favorites?
I don't know that I have a particular favorite. Obviously, Snap, Stupid War are songs that really stuck out to me. God is Broke. And I say that, and my best friend is legitimately a minister, not like an internet minister where, he has a church, he goes there on Sundays and he preaches to people. And I have gone there multiple times to play guitar, to help them worship, which not my jam, but, you know, worried about my kids becoming a vegetarian, and same difference. You know what? Not her jam, not my jam. As long as she respects my jam, I'll respect her jam. That's how I am with Christianity and Islam and Judaism and Hinduism and Sikhism and whatever the hell they do in Japan, because they do several things. But we do have a full song with argument, then war later on at the end. Nursing Home Blues features a spectacular blues solo, which I believe is the only one in the entirety of the D.R.I catalog. And I love me a good blues solo. But the thing about this album is it's 35 minutes and it feels like 40. And that's not a good thing. It doesn't.
I don't know. I feel like this was their jam from the beginning. The first record is the same. It's 17 minutes long with like 40 songs. This is what they do. This is who they are. It's very punk rock of them. They're just trying to jam through these, make as many
At
songs as possible. There's no editing.
at this time, yes.
There's no editing. Um, Interestingly enough, by the way, their producer on this is a local guy from Houston, Dan Yaney, or Yaney, who has not recorded much other metal, but a lot of other things beside them. Only produced this one record with them. Surprised that Brian didn't personally produce this, um, especially because I think this is the last. This is the time when Slayer leaves Metal Blade. I don't know if he was thinking DRI was the new Slayer for them, but it's possible.
Slayer did not leave until crap.
Rain and Blood.
Oh, I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. Ignore me.
No, it's fine. There's no whatever.
No, no, no. Ignore me. I was completely wrong. My
We're
brain.
not having a we're not having a quiz show here. You can be wrong
Wow.
about things.
Ouch. 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 Ouch.
Interestingly enough, I'm sure we're going to talk about him a little more. Felix Griffin is a very good drummer. A couple of years ago, he tried to put out like a Bobby Blotzer's Rat. He tried to make like a Felix Griffin's DRI, or do he put out a band that was like Felix Griffin something, the classic songs of like Felix Griffin's crossover or thrash hard, the classic albums of DRI as a live band, and he was sued to death. I interviewed him. He's a nice guy. He had gone to jail for some crimes. He was remorseful, got out, has been straight ever since. But I think it's pretty damn well hilarious that he tried to do the Bobby Blotzer thing.
You know, this is just Nick. Nick is Nick. Nick has his own opinions, his own ideas. He's different or exactly the same. I always find it weird when the only classic slash original member in a band is the drummer. It always seems wrong to me because I feel like drummers are interchangeable. Sorry, drummers.
I disagree. I think a good drummer is hard to find, and drummers are hard to come by and stick with. I
Hard to
disagree.
come by, yes, because you need to have like parents that will let you drum in their house.
Not unfair. Do we want to do a quick DRI set list from 1985? Or are you not
You got it.
interested?
If you got it pulled up, let's roll with it. But I mean, I don't care.
I might have one handy. Hang on. Come on. It was me telling you to talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When you said that, I immediately got a Facebook message. I thought it was the wife telling me what's up. Uh, I like DRI, and I'm gonna go ahead and sum up a little bit on this record. The first two, and again, I'm gonna piggyback on what I said last week. Was I had a live at CBGB's live record on Skateboard Records or whatever, not Metal Blade, but some label. It was released much later, much after the fact, and I never once could get through it. I do have Crossover and I do have Four of a Kind, which are amazing records. But the punkier stuff is different, especially the live versions versus the studio versions. The studio versions are they already have that Four of a Kind crossover sound. The writing is there. They're just not calling them songs. They're calling them movements. And that's why and then what I love about this band is they're immediately political because I will go to the grave stating and screaming all art is political. If you can make art that's apolitical, it means you are a person of privilege. Period.
Silence is compliance. End of sentence.
Correct.
Really quick, and then we're going to end. Just pulled up a random set list of DRI at a place I went to once or twice, L'Amour in Brooklyn, the great L'Amour.
Oh, L'Amour. Carcass played there many times, as did Ace Frehley.
As did every New York band. As did Metallica. As did Anthrax. As did Guns N' Roses. So, November 16th, 1985, random set list of DRI. 6 months after the release of Dealing with It. They basically...
38 songs? 40 songs?
34 songs. Every 18 off of Dealing with It out of 25.
I'm not gonna give you a statement on each song.
No, we're not gonna do that. 14 tracks off of Dirty Rotten, and they closed with Violent Pacification, which they basically closed with ever since. So more or less.
Well, at this point in time, and let's just not even go through the track list. Let's please.
No, we could not. We can't. We shan't.
So at this point in time, they have 55 minutes of music, and they played 53 of them.
It's basically
Spectacular.
Next week, or not next week, but the next DRI episode for Crossover, I feel like we will go through the track by track. It's only
Yeah, I mean, Crossover is
13 with
normal,
an outro.
Yeah, it's a normal record.
Yeah, they tried to make an actual normal album.
Yeah, they went, wow, these three songs that sound like a chorus, a bridge, and a verse could be a song. They like had that Keanu Reeves moment.
Whoa, upgrades. If you've got nothing else, I'll take us home.
Please do.
All right. You have been listening to the Glacially Musical Podcast, the Ghost Cult Joint. Thank you so much for being here. I am Ghost Cult Keefy, at Ghost Cult Keefy, at Ghost Cult Mag, ghostcultmag.com. You know, of course, your host is Nik, Glacially Musical, Glacially _ Musical, Nik _ no _ C on X and Threads probably, and not Blue Sky because they have a dumb nomenclature and syntax for their naming. But, we really appreciate you being here. If you managed to listen to the end, you are a real one, as I am fond of saying on all my podcasts. And, we're the Glacially Musical Podcast. It doesn't play in Peoria, but DRI most surely has.
Because Peoria has $1.